Welcome to the Ivan Herrera Show. It is week 11 and we have so much to go over. Right now, we are going to be discussing some players that you should be targeting in trades. It's week 11. The playoffs are just around the corner. And if you are in a pinch, we have to make sure that you're solidifying your roster with the right players. And the first one I want to actually mention is going to be Courtland Sutton from the Denver Broncos. And the reason why I want to mention Courtland Sutton is because I feel like he's a player that you can attain. It's very funny. I watch these YouTube videos from other creators and they have you really target some of these big name players, but I think that at times it's so hard to actually trade for them because people are going to be emotionally attached to like the Malik Neighbors of the world, the Justin Jeffersons. But I think Courtland Sutton is someone that you can attain, and it's been pretty awesome to actually watch how well he's been playing. So far in the season, he's been wide receiver 16 and is actually on pace for the best fantasy finish of his career, which is kind of weird to say, being that last season he actually saw a career high in touchdowns with 10, and this year it has been his volume that has been really been propelling him for success. So far in the year, he's been second in air yards, he's third in deep targets, he's fourth in red zone targets, ninth in overall targets. What I like to see also is his actual average versus what he should be expected to be getting because of the targets is actually pretty impressive. And then what's also helping him out has been how explosive he's been this year. Currently, he's actually had 12 explosive plays into the season. He ranks 6th best in the NFL with his EPX score ranking him 12th overall. And what makes him a really intriguing target is the fact that he has a really great schedule. And with Courtland Sutton having matchups versus Atlanta, Las Vegas, Cleveland, as well as Indianapolis, it makes it really intriguing for me to want to shoot for Courtland Sutton to be on my roster. Another player I'm going to want you to target is going to be running back Chuba Hubbard from the Carolina Panthers. There was so much talk about Jonathan Brooks coming in upon week 5 or week 6. However, that just hasn't been the case. And it doesn't seem like even if he was to start playing, it won't be really ramped up in time for you to really get much production from him in your roster. And for me, Chuba Hubbard is a must trade for, considering that number one, he has been the RB7 overall in fantasy. He currently ranks 8th in explosive plays. He's 3rd in rushing yards, 7th in yards created, and he also is 11th in red zone targets. And I know that coming out of the bye, this next couple weeks is going to have 2 tough matchups in 3 games versus Kansas City, who actually allows the fewest points to opposing running backs, and then he has Philadelphia, who actually allow the 4th fewest in that same category. But after that, he faces the Dallas Cowboys, who are the 7th worst defense versus running backs. Then he has Arizona, who's the 8th, and then he has Tampa Bay, who is actually the 9th. So with that said, do what you can to get Chuba Hubbard because I believe he could be a league winner for your fantasy roster at the running back position. Now, this next player is going to be George Pickens for the Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens, since seeing Russell Wilson now under center, he's actually been the wide receiver 18 in fantasy points. He's also on pace to see career highs in not only receiving yards, but receptions as well as targets. And not only are we seeing the volume go up, but he's still able to produce with the explosive plays that he provides. And you can see here, according to his EPX, he actually has 12 explosive plays this season, which are the 6th best in the league. He also has a number 1 overall rating in that category among wide receivers. He's been able to combine the explosive production to go along with consistent volume. Currently, right now, he is 8th in target share, 6th in air yards, 4th in red zone targets, and also 6th in deep targets. Not only does he have the production, but he also has a favorable schedule coming down the stretch. In his next 7 games, he has 5+ matchups versus defenses that don't do well versus opposing wide receivers, and he also has 4 matchups with 2 defenses versus the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, who are both the respective worst defenses, the 32nd and the 31st ranked defense that allow the most points to opposing wide receivers in fantasy. Hey, we have 2 more players to review. If you haven't already done so, most of you are not already subscribed, so do me a solid. If you're getting value, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's go over these last 2 players. This next player is going to be Calvin Ridley from the Tennessee Titans. Ever since DeAndre Hopkins got traded, it has been a revelation for Calvin Ridley. Just look at this screenshot here. According to RotoViz, he has seen 20.7 fantasy point averages versus the 7.53 he had to begin the season. He has seen his receptions go from 2 to 6. He has also seen his targets go from 6 to 11 per game, and also his yards have gone up from 30.5 to 100 yards per game. And what's helped out is that Ridley has been a very successful wide receiver, especially when targeted deep. He's currently 1st in air yards, 3rd in deep targets, and also 5th in average target distance. And his schedule on the stretch is phenomenal. He plays the Minnesota Vikings, who allow the 3rd most points to opposing wide receivers, and then he sees the Houston Texans, who allow the 4th most points to opposing wide receivers, and then he also has 2 matchups versus Jacksonville, the division rival, that actually are sixth worst in that exact same category. So with all that going on, Calvin Ridley is a must add to your rosters and someone that you should definitely trade for, especially as the trade deadline comes near. This last player I need you to add on your roster and trade for is going to be Rachaad White from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this actually is contingent on where you're at with your standings. I know he's coming off a bye week in week 11, so if you can make a move for him and have to bite the bullet and not have him on your roster as far as starting, I'd say make a play for him, because even with the emergence of Bucky Irving, he's averaging 15.3 points per game versus Irving's 12.7 in the 7 games that Irving has emerged since week 3. And what's helped that is that White is so efficient as a receiving running back. Currently, he's 5th in receiving yards, he's 5th in receptions, he's 3rd in route runs, he's also in 2nd and when it comes to yards created per touch. And as we're saying, the playoffs are just around the corner, so the schedule becomes very important. And for him, after the bye week, he faces the New York Giants, who allow the 7th most receiving yards to opposing running backs. Then he sees Carolina, who allows the most points to opposing running backs, to then go along with the Las Vegas Raiders, who allow the 6th most points to opposing RBs as well. Hey guys, you made it to the very end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Listen, if you got value in it, do me a solid. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and check out some of these other videos that will help you out on the channel as we get ready for the fantasy playoffs. Thank you for watching. Best of luck to you. And in the meantime and in between time, take care. God bless. Peace.